I remember the day, I remember being at home and getting the news and laughing and crying, and then it hits you. I was very upset by it. And he was just so funny.
You did a fantastic crowd. Thank you very much. And good night. Thank you. Would you please welcome Jimmy Carr?
One of the most respected and best-loved comedians in the world. The king of one-liners.
Okay, strap in, everyone. You ready? I'm going to start teaching comedy because it teaches you how to come up with original thoughts, to find your voice. You'll be chasing imposter syndrome, and it's great. You should feel it every 18 months. You learn that failure is one of the great gifts of stand-up comedy, and to learn how to lose gracefully, it's a good test of how much you want something.
How do we know what we actually want? I love what I do now, but often question whether I should go be like a DJ.
Well, I can answer that question for you. No, you f***ing shouldn't. I know everything you do, you think, oh, maybe we can make a few quid out of this. No.
As a guy that's touring the world 300 days a year, what advice would you give me on how to be a better communicator?
Speak at 92 beats a minute. When you look at the great public speakers, they all seem to be hitting that rhythm of 92 beats a minute.
Anxiety.
It's the flip side of creativity. So I think the cure for managing my anxiety is... Hang on. The Netflix special drops today, so I imagine I'm being cancelled right now.
How have you come to deal with that?
So the next time I get cancelled, I've got a plan. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say...
Hey guys, welcome back to Uncensored. In today's video, we are going to be talking about mental health. Mental health is one of the biggest problems that we have, if not the biggest problem that we have right now. So I fell upon this very interesting video of Stephen Bartlett and Jimmy Carr talking about mental health. I wanted to share that video with you guys, so let's just jump right into it.
This idea of, depression is essentially thinking about yourself too much. Last time we spoke on the podcast, you talked about...
I would say, that feels to me maybe a little bit too harsh. Because I think people suffer with depression, and it's a disease, and it's incredibly serious. And we think of suicide as being something that stands alone. It's not. It's a symptom of a disease called depression, right? So it's the permanent solution to a temporary problem. You don't want to feel this way anymore, but actually you don't want to feel nothing anymore.
When it comes to depression is a very sensitive topic. And it's a topic that we have to talk about. We must talk about it because there are many people dying because of depression. And depression leads always to suicide. There's two types of depression. There's a depression that is chemically. You have to take medication for you to be able to be good. For example, like antidepressant, those kind of medication help people to live a normal life. But then there's depression that we put upon ourselves. Maybe we are not where we want to be in life. So we become depressed. And I have been there. There was once a time where I was very depressed. I had everything going for me, but I was so depressed, I couldn't understand why. But it's because I wasn't taking care of my mental health. You understand? And it's something that I'm happy that I had friends that I could talk about this with, and they pulled me out of it. But some people don't have that. And if you're watching and you have no one, call a therapy and go to them and talk to them about your problem, because if you do not cure your depression or if you do not take care of it, it always leads to suicide.
You'd like to feel better. So it's that thing of like, I don't think we talk about it enough, but I think that thing of, thinking about yourself all the time, I think it just can lead to a melancholy, a sadness.
I understand and I agree with what he's saying. If you overthink about yourself, you will get depressed, especially when you're comparing yourself with other people that you do not know how they are living. You become depressed because you might see someone driving a Lamborghini and you're on a bike. You're like, oh, look at that person. He's so lucky to have that car. But you don't know, especially when you're too much on social media, comparing yourself with other people's life. You shouldn't do that. That leads to depression. I believe that the best way to solve that kind of depression when you're overthinking about yourself is to find something that you're passionate about. I am passionate about YouTube, so YouTube helps to take away some certain thoughts that I have. I focus on editing, so it helped me quite a lot. I think that if you are suffering with depression, you should find something that you can do that is tangible, that makes you not to think too much about yourself, but think about others. I think that would help. It helped me, so I'm sharing it with you guys.
I think depression is maybe a slightly separate thing. Not to nitpick,
No,
but it feels like
it's
it feels like
important
that's a disease.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot of sadness in the world. And you're lucky if you're sad. Because if you're sad, it's circumstantial and you can do something about it. You know, are you depressed because you have a serotonin imbalance in your head and it's a heritable trait? Or are you sad because your life hasn't worked out the way you want it to work out?
In the world that we live in right now, it is easy to be depressed because we compare ourselves with others, because we scroll on our phone all the time. Human beings were not designed to sit at home and scroll on your phone or watch a series. They were designed to do things, to explore. And when you're not doing that, you feel sick. Imagine some people sit at home for 2 weeks in a row and they don't go out. And they're just scrolling on their phone. There's some other people that just love to compare themselves with other people. And that makes them mentally depressed. There's some people that are under pressure, maybe to succeed in this or that. They get depressed. There are a lot of things that can make you depressed. For me, when I was younger, was coming to a new country, meeting new people, learning a new culture, learning a new language, missing my old friends. That made me depressed. And thank God that I met friends that I could be open about it. And they helped me through it. And that's why I'm making this video. If you are depressed and you need help, you should go to a therapy. Talk to one. They will help you.
Well, if that's the case, the latter, you're in luck because you can change that.
It does feel like there's a bit of a crisis going on within young men at the moment. And I think your new show on Netflix shines a light on many of the difficulties that young men are facing. I was really excited to talk to you about this particular topic because I've been trying to arrive at a position myself on why so many young men appear to be lost and suicidality has increased, and there's, you know, these new masculine influences or masculine influencers that are really rounding up this cohort of young men.
I think I know why people are a lot more depressed now. It's because people are too much on their phone. People are too much on social media. They are comparing themselves with people they do not know. I think that leads to depression. And when it comes to the youth, why they are looking at people like Andre Tate is because we lack a leadership role in our society. I used to live in Cameroon, and in Cameroon, our neighbor, right, his father was my father, in a sense, and my father was my neighbor's father. You know what I mean? It was very, very community-wise. You know, everyone knew everyone. I had friends that I could go around and play with, but the children of today, the only friends that they have are online, and that is also where predators are. That is the reason why there's a lack of role models. There's a lack of people that we can look up to.
Who are we talking about? Andrew Tate?
Andrew Tates of the world.
Well, Andrew Tate's interesting, isn't he? Because who made I think John Mulaney made the observation, Trump is a poor person's idea of what a rich person looks like. Yeah, I've got gold taps. And I think sort of Andrew Tate is like a 14-year-old boy's idea of what masculinity might look like. Like it's really, and of course, nature abhors a vacuum. And there's a real vacuum for elders. Like we don't learn how to shave from our fathers. It's a YouTube video. And so you lose something in that bonding.
He's repeating exactly what I was just saying. The reason why these youth are going to people like Andre Tate is because they believe that people like Andre Tate are real men. Because Andre Tate has a Bugatti and he has money and women. They think that is what it means to be a man. But it takes a lot more than that to be a man. For you to be a good man, you have to learn to control your demons, which is your lustful side, your anger. You have to learn to control it. You have to learn to tame it and know when to use it. To be a man, you have to be honest and kind to your peers and respectful to your peers and others.
So there's a big bit in the new show where I give a young guy, an audience member, a pretty tough time. Like we have the talk and I give them advice on how to be with a woman. And I'm not wrong about anything. It's really funny and it's really rude. but I'm not wrong about stuff. It's like, it's about consent, and I think it's really good because I've sugared the pill of the message because people don't want to talk about it. People go, it's obvious what consent is. Yeah, not to 17-year-old boys or girls. It's like, actually, what does that look like and how should that be?
I think it's a very important conversation that we should have with these children about consent to things, especially boys and girls, especially the ones that are very young, 17, like that. We should teach them because they're going out into the world and already doing it, but they don't know the repercussion of their action, especially the boys. They have to know what a no is. And a no is a no, regardless of what she has said after a no. No is a no.
So it's a really fun routine. It's a really fun routine to perform and to write.
What is it to be a man these days? Because it's quite confusing in terms, even the conversation around like chivalry and understanding, you know.
Well, people talk about toxic masculinity and easy fix. Be a gentleman, be a mensch. That's it. This is done. Be a gentleman, be a mensch. A gentleman is never rude by accident. It's Christopher Hitchens' line. Great.
Yeah. Be a gentleman and be a mensch. Don't let people walk over you because you're trying to be kind. But at the same time, don't go out of your way to be rude to people. Act classic. Be classic. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, you should have a certain level of manners in you. You shouldn't go around disrespecting others. Let your word be meaningful. If you say something, you mean it. And if you mean something, you say it.
I don't know. I mean, my thing about young men today, if I was going to give young men advice, it would be get the right drugs and the real thing, right? In real life. Live in real life, right? So why young men are obsessed by video games, right? Obsessed. They're spending hours and hours and hours online playing video games. Why? Well, that's a proxy for career. Right, video games. You think about the levels of video games and what people do on video games. That's a proxy. That's like it's a substitute for the career that they're not having. And then they spend a lot of time, fapping to Pornhub or YouPorn or whatever, and that's a proxy for sex. And my thing would be,
I love the way he broke this thing down about men not being in the real world, which is so true. Men are addicted to video games and porn. It is a problem in this society. The reason why is because a lot of men are hopeless. They don't have any hope. They don't believe in themselves. A lot of men don't have courage because it takes courage to talk to a woman. Knowing that she might reject you, it's courage, it's bravery.
George Orwell wasn't right. Our power won't be taken away from us by some authoritarian master. We're going to give it away for cheap dopamine. And the cheap dopamine of video games and online porn and living online is getting in the way of real life. So it's risk, right? That's what we're not allowing young people to do, because we're saying to young people, you can't take risks in real life. We're helicopter parenting. We're not giving them the freedom. How much freedom should you give a kid? As much as they can cope with, right? 14-year-olds used to be babysitters. They now need babysitters. That's not good, right? So you should allow them more freedom in the real world, because otherwise, the only place they get freedom is online. And no freedom in the real world. You're not allowed to go to the park and hang out, but you're allowed to do whatever you want online.
I do believe that we have to give a little bit more freedom and responsibility to our kids. The reason why is because if you helicopter parent a child, the child will grow up to be mad at you. But most importantly, they'll find a way to get their freedom through online that will keep things away from you. I do believe that back in the days, they used to give us a little bit of freedom. And through freedom, you learn a little bit of what not to do and what not to do, because you learn from your mistakes. And I think that is what he's trying to say, is that children of today should be allowed to make their mistakes, so that they can grow from it. Because if you don't give them that freedom to make mistakes, they end up just not doing anything with their life.
Well, that feels like a very bad social experiment. That feels like a bad idea. Yeah, it feels like we've inverted, Maslow, this pyramid, the hierarchy of needs, and you go, well, food and shelter and warmth and we've got all the bottom stuff worked out in our society, right? We kind of can't see it. We're not grateful for that because we can't see
The hot shower.
the hot shower. We can't see the third world and we can't see the people in the past having a tougher time than us. So we take it for granted. But we've worked out that stuff. They hadn't worked that stuff out 200 years ago. But they had the top of the pyramid sorted. Everyone knew who they were. They had their identity and they knew what their purpose was. Everyone knew who they were, what they were about, and they were connected to the others in the group. And now we're kind of free-floating individuals. We kind of worship the individual as if we can survive as individuals. I always think of that thing of like, there's no such thing as a baby. There's a baby and a mother, there's a baby and a father, baby and an auntie, but there's no such thing as a baby because a baby on its own isn't anything. It's dead. It needs taken care of. We're all still babies. We all need the connections. Yourself, yeah, sure, there's a lot of yourself that's within you, but a lot of it is out in the world. It's connected to other people, and it mediates who you think you are. And that's slightly missing from society where you kind of live online and you're kind of a self-authored thing. You're just on the computer, on the screen, and you're not connected and you're not taking risks. Taking risks is really important.
Sometimes I sit and I compare Sweden and Cameroon. Sweden has its spurt. Sweden is a little bit more advanced. Cameroon has a lot to do to catch up to Sweden. But the one thing that Sweden has that is a problem is that people here are depressed. The reason also why they're depressed is because there's nothing to invent. There's nothing to do. You can't go out and be with friends. The weather is killing people, like because it's snowing and it's cold outside and it's dark outside. People don't go out. So you don't get to meet people. But compared to Cameroon, Cameroon is a community. Everyone cares about each other. Everyone is there for each other. I think sometimes when I think about that, the reason why people in Africa are not so depressed is because they are more focused on getting their basic needs met before anything. Why people abroad and in Europe have already gotten their minimum needs met. I also believe that we should not let our children play with mobile telephone all the time. The reason why is because it destroys their mind. It kills their attention span. Imagine the person that created an iPhone didn't want to give it to his daughter. Why should we give it to our children? Think about that. Anyways, this is the end of the video. Take care and bye.